You're listening to the Walt's World Podcast, brought to you by the Lost Bros Trading Co. Join your hosts, John and Kaylee, as they banter about all things Disney, including Disney parks, resorts, dining, fashion, and movies. They'll keep you up to date with the latest Disney news and rumors, and they'll share their best tips and insight to make sure you have the best Disney vacation possible. So to all who tune into this happy place, welcome. It's the Walt's World Podcast.
What's going on, friends? It's Tuesday, June 19th, 2018, and this is episode number 8 of the Walt's World Podcast. I am your host, John, and with me, as she is every week, my fabulous co-host, my friend Kaylee.
Hi, everyone. And yes, I am fabulous.
She made me say that. That's the problem. She made me say it. No. So I hope everyone's having an awesome week. Whenever you're listening to this on Tuesday or whenever it is, I hope you guys are having an awesome week. And yeah, so Kaylee, what's been going on with you?
Same old, working, going to the parks, chilling.
I'm so jealous. I want to go to the park so bad. So bad. Those of you that live far away from the parks, you understand how it is to just can't just wake up and be like, yeah, you want to go to the park today? Yeah, sure. Let's go to Disney World today. Like, you can't just do that when you live 10 hours away.
Yeah, it's honestly getting close to miserable around there lately, though. It's getting super hot, super rainy, and super crowded. So
that's a great segue, Kaylee, into what we're talking about today. And what we're talking about is giving you some of our tips and tricks on how to have a stress-free day at the parks, at Disney World. And that's super important because, like Kaylee said, it's the time of year where it gets crazy crowded. And what inevitably is going to happen is you're going to get stressed out by the crowds, or you're going to get frustrated about something like we talked last week's episode. So we're going to give you some ideas of how to avoid large crowds or how to avoid the stress that may happen throughout the day. All right, so these are just some general tips and tricks to help you out on your busy days at Disney World. So, Kaylee, why don't you go ahead and give your first tip trick?
So my first, as I just said, it's getting really hot. It's been super rainy. So when you're coming down, maybe for a vacation or just for the day, have sunscreen and bring a poncho. The Florida heat and the temperamental weather is real. I'm telling you, it is so real. I was walking.
Let's pause this episode for a second. Are you a poncho person, or are you a poncho person, an umbrella person, or a rain jacket person?
I am actually a rain jacket. I'm actually an umbrella person. I don't wear a poncho. John wears a jacket, or he'll come under the umbrella with me. But I feel like 99% of people, unless you have a Pretty Little Monograms rain jacket, shameless plug,
which are amazing. They're super great.
Yes. You're not at all sponsored by Pretty Little Monograms, but one can hope.
No, but she's our friend and she's awesome. Anyways,
I feel like 99% of park goers are poncho wearers. And I think that's just because they're so easily accessible in the parks. Yes, they do have umbrellas, and sometimes I've seen raincoats around in the shops, but ponchos are the easiest to get to, I think. So that's why probably a lot of people wear them. So that's why I say bring a poncho. They're super cheap, too. You could literally go to the dollar store and get one and have it for the day. It's fine. So, yeah.
I'm not a poncho person. Well, one, because it takes an hour to get it on, as evidenced by George W. Bush trying to put one on during the inauguration. But it's impossible to put on. And then once it's on, it's so hot. And then it's hard to take off because then you're sweaty from it being hot, and then you're kind of wet from the rain. But then the poncho itself, then how do you fold? It's wet. So you got to fold a wet poncho up and put it in your bag then it just gets moldy if you don't use it again.
Not only that, but like you said, you're usually soaking wet, from wearing a poncho. It really doesn't help anything, in my opinion, because there's, the weird arm, holes are so big that the rain's coming, at you sideways and getting on your clothes. I don't know. I would rather be under an umbrella. I'm still sort of getting wet, But, I could easily like go inside or walk to my car underneath an umbrella and like not really care. Instead
right.
of
But those of us who aren't driving to the parks, I'm a rain jacket guy. Krista is the umbrella person. I'm the rain jacket guy. I like the rain jacket. My backpack is waterproof, so that helps. I don't have to worry about the stuff in my bag. But like, I don't know, just the poncho is just so hot. Even a rain jacket, though, is just hot and sticky feeling when it's hot outside and it rains and it gets even hotter and humid. I don't know. Anyways, that was just a side thing. Let us know if you're a poncho person or a rain jacket person. I'm always interested to find out.
But it really is a great tip, especially this time of year if you're going, make sure that you have some sort of like rain protectant device, whatever you want, and some sunscreen, because when the sun comes out, it is super hot and the rays are definitely there. Come
out tomorrow.
I'm pretty fair. If you've seen our Instagram or my Instagram, I'm pretty fair. I don't tan at all. Like, I'm the same color all year round. So I get burnt very easily at the parks, and I always forget sunscreen. So this is me hoping that you learn my lessons and do not get those burn marks from your backpacks like I am currently sporting.
Yes, that's awesome. I put sunscreen on, but then I forget to put it on my face, and then so I end up with like a huge red nose, red forehead. Like, it happens to me. I don't know why. It's like I forget that I have a face when I'm putting sunscreen on. Anyways, that's a good tip though, because that could ruin a vacation. You'd be miserable if you have a sunburn walking through the parks. For me, one big thing, and this is kind of just in general speaking, and I know Kaylee and I have talked about this a lot, is have realistic expectations about your day. We all see those Disney commercials, and it looks like there's like 10 people in the park, and you just walk right on the ride, and the kids are so happy, and everyone's so happy, and it's magical, and it's so great. It's the perfect day. But have realistic expectations, because the reality is you're going to be waiting in line. There's going to be mobs of people everywhere. You're going to be bumping into people. You're going to be smelling those stinky Pete's. You're going to be waiting in crazy long lines. It's going to be hot. You're going to want to ride Dumbo, but it's going to be down. Or you're going to want to ride Pirates, but it's going to be under refurb.
Or you're going to ride Haunted Mansion and get stuck on it for 5 minutes, 5 different times.
That's right. You cannot go in thinking that you're going to have the most perfect Disney trip and get to do everything exactly the way that you have it planned out in your head. I am very much that way. I am the Clark Griswold of my family. I have these grand expectations. What? Clark Griswold?
Who?
Clark W. Griswold. National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, National Lampoon's Vacation.
Oh, yeah. I've seen parts of that.
Okay. He has, if you know what I'm talking about, he gets these like crazy ideas of how things are going to go, and then they never go the way that he thinks they're going to go. Like the Christmas movie. He thinks it's going to be this great family Christmas time, and everything is just a disaster. That's the way it is in my head. I build things up so high and make unrealistic expectations for everything, and then it just never meets those expectations. So then I feel like it was a disappointment.
I always say, it's great to plan ahead, but don't plan too much ahead, because the trip is going to get very, very stressful with a minute-by-minute itinerary, and it's honestly not going to be as fun if you're constantly worrying about where you have to be at what time. Take it from me, I go to the parks at least once a week, Cheddar Biscuits and I. We do not plan our fast passes until we are literally almost about to be in the park. It is so easy for us to get a fast pass for every ride that we want the day of, just by going on the app and seeing, what's available. And like I said, we almost always get what we want. So it's great to plan ahead and kind of know what you want to do and want to get done that day, but also know that, don't plan too much ahead, because chances are you're going to be able to still get and do what you want, and things are going to happen. So
yeah, I do suggest, if you're a one time a year Disney goer, or you're a one time every 3-5 years, do plan ahead. Do make those fast passes 180 days. Do make those dining reservations 180 days, and make those fast passes 60 days before or 30 days before, because if you're not coming but once every 5 years, you're gonna want to ride Seven Dwarfs. You're going to want to ride that ride that you rode when you were a kid and things like that. I totally understand that side of it as someone who comes from far away. But at the same time, understand that if you get there and that ride is not working, or that restaurant is under refurb or something crazy, it's not the end of your trip. Like, your world is not shattered if you don't get a Cinderella's Royal Table reservation. Like, your life is not over. I promise. I promise it's not. That's what we're talking about. Like, be flexible.
Yeah, exactly. Be flexible. Get the fast passes, but know that you could get others if
You're
something
at Disney
goes
World.
awry. Like, exactly. You're at Disney World.
It's not the end of the world. There's a lot worse places you could be.
Take a
to have
chill
something go
pill.
wrong.
Have a great time with your family
That's
or
right.
your friends.
That's right.
Or
I will
by
say
yourself.
from personal experience, the first couple of times Chris and I went, we were overplanned, and it felt like we were just living.
You guys are always overplanned. Let's be honest.
We have ideas of what we like to do, but we're not planning out second by second like we did. The first couple of times we went, we planned out moment by moment. It felt like we were living based on a schedule rather than living in the moment that we were in, living in the fact that we were at Disney World and enjoying everything around us. But now that we've gone, many, many times, we can kind of be like, there's certain things we want to do always. There's certain places we always want to eat at. But we kind of go with the flow more than we used to. But be okay. Be okay if you don't get those reservations.
I feel like we just covered my whole list of things that I was going to talk about. No,
well,
actually,
that's your sometimes podcast.
This is your work break podcast. Enjoy. Mm-hmm. No, okay, so next is take advantage of the My Disney Experience app. This is seriously everything you need to know about Disney in your pocket. All things park related, all things hotels, all things reservations, all things fast passes, quick service, shopping, walking directions to, wherever you're trying to go. Seriously, everything. It makes your life so much easier. If you're really trying to plan and make sure that you have everything laid out, the My Disney Experience app has your plans in chronological order, so you know what you're doing at what time. It's great. Everything's there.
So, but also kind of going on what we just talked about a second ago about being flexible, this week, the My Disney Experience app went down along with the Fast Pass computer system and the dining reservation computer system. So for like 2 hours, no one could use fast passes. No one could make fast passes. No one could use their dining reservations or make dining reservations on the app or in person. So that's an example that you got to be flexible and understanding. And it's not the cast members' fault. If you listened last week, don't take it out on them. They don't control the app. They don't control all those things. It's not their fault. Be flexible. It's okay. But the app is amazing. It's if it's not on your phone and you're not looking at it all the time, you're not doing it right.
It's so easy to be able to connect with, your friends and your family and make fast pass plans together, make reservations together. You can see if you have PhotoPass, the memory maker on your ticket, you can see all of those there. Literally everything. I mean, it's insane.
Yeah, I mean, you can keep up with your snacks. You can keep up with your dining credits on there. Your room number, which I never remember and have to always look at it. And it keeps up with all those things for you. So you don't have to try to keep up with it yourself. They're constantly changing it. Like, they're soon to be releasing bus wait times on the app, which is going to be incredible. If you've ever had to wait on the bus and not have any idea when the next one's coming, like, that's going to be the most incredible thing ever. Which I've wanted for years now. But anyways, let's move on. And my next trick is do not go to the park that has extra magic hours that day. Now, every park is going to have extra magic hours at different times. So let's say you're going to the park on Wednesday, and the extra magic hours are at the Magic Kingdom from 8 to 9. So that means extra magic hours. If you don't know what that means that if you're staying at a Disney resort, you can go into the park an hour early or stay late, depending on what the park's hours are that day. The reason I say do not go to the park with extra magic hours is because everybody staying on property goes to that park because they think, oh, Magic Kingdom's open, usually open from 9 to 11, but today it's open from 8 to 11. I can get a whole extra hour at the Magic Kingdom. Well, everybody thinks that. Everybody thinks, hey, I'm going to go to Magic Kingdom. I can be there from 8 to 11 instead of from 9 to 11. So everyone goes there, and it's way more crowded. Or if they have the nighttime extra magic hours, they're going to go all day and get those extra magic hours in the evening. It's always going to be the most crowded park. Always.
And this ties back into using that My Disney Experience app before you start making the plans for your trip. They have a calendar on there with the park hours, and it always says which park has extra magic hours. So before you start planning fast passes and reservations and other things like that, maybe take a look at which park has the extra magic hours so you know to, kind of avoid and choose a different park for that day.
Yeah. And if you're staying at a Disney resort, you can turn to channel 2 or 3 and see where in the extra magic hours are as well. Turn to channel 2 or 3 in your resort room TV. But there's also crowd calendars out there. Touringplans.com has a great one. KennyThePirate.com has a great one. They're not an exact science, but they will help you understand, avoid this park on this day, avoid this park on this day. And it's usually the parks that have extra magic hours. Now, I would suggest taking advantage of those extra magic hours, but do not stay the whole day at that park. So if Magic Kingdom has extra magic hours from 10 to 12 that night, go to another park during the day, take a break in the afternoon, and then hop over to the Magic Kingdom and take advantage of those last couple hours of extra magic hours, because the crowd's going to be a lot less, especially if you're one of those people that like to close down the Magic Kingdom, be one of the last people there, which I've done, and it's amazing. That's a great time to do it, is in those special event times like that.
I agree. That sounds like a really good idea.
Because it is a good idea.
And John thought of it himself. John thought of it himself.
So smart. I'm so smart.
So original. Anyways, so speaking of, being on your phone all the time because you're constantly checking My Disney Experience app, I highly suggest bringing a portable charger. It doesn't have to be the fuel rod, but I do suggest a fuel rod because it's $30 and you can literally switch it out endless amount of times throughout your trip. And even you could take it home and do it next time you come for your trip. Or
it charges, and you can charge it in your outlet at home and use it while you're at home.
Right.
Too. It's amazing.
So basically you get the little portable charger, and then there's places around Walt Disney World property that you go and you kind of return the old that doesn't have any charge left in it and get a new one that's fully charged. So that's for free, exactly, because you already paid the $30. So that's, a really good idea, because I know people are on their phones a lot, checking the My Disney Experience app, checking whatever else needs to be checked throughout the trip. So it's just a really great idea to make sure that your phone can remain fully charged. If you're trying to take pictures or anything like that, you want it to be fully charged all day.
Yeah, there's a fuel rod station basically at every resort now. It's usually near the arcade if it's a value resort. But it's usually in the lobby area somewhere. There's fuel rod stations several places in all the parks as well. So it's a great way to keep your phones charged, and it's got one full charge in it. So it'll charge your phone completely once. And we use it here at home. I'll take it to work with me, or if I'm going to be out at a football game or a sporting event or something like that where I'm out, I'll take it with me and use it to charge my phone. But it's a one-time $30 fee. Now, I'll give you this little tip. If you buy it online through Fuel Rod's website, you get it for cheaper than you would if you buy it at Disney World. It's just a little tidbit. They also have one at MCO in the airport.
Very cool.
I think so. My next one is something that we've experienced, Kaylee. We always do this, especially when we're at Epcot, is the Disney Chase Visa character meet and greet. The special Disney Chase Visa character meet and greet. This is a huge time saver. Like, what we never wait, do we, when we've done this?
Never.
I don't think we've ever waited.
No,
basically,
maybe like one person.
Yeah, maybe. Basically, at Epcot, Hollywood Studios, I'm not sure. I don't believe there's one at Magic Kingdom and Animal Kingdom.
No.
I know definitely Epcot and Hollywood Studios.
Definitely.
We've done both of those.
Yeah.
There are special areas where you can, if you're a Disney Visa card, Chase Visa card carrier that you can go show your credit card and they will let you in, and you'll meet a character. At Epcot, it's one of the Fab Five or two of the Fab Five, always. And they're in their original costumes. So we're talking, Mickey with the red pants, white shirt, bow tie, black jacket, Donald in his traditional sailor outfit, Minnie in her polka dot dress. At Hollywood Studios, it says that it's a random Star Wars character, but it's always Kylo Ren. So the cool thing is there's no wait. Literally, the longest I've ever waited is one person, and they were already meeting them. So like we waited long enough for them to finish their meet and greet. And what's cool about that is you can take as much time as you want with them because there's no rush. There's no one in line behind you. There's no cast member rushing you through because they're just happy someone's in there other than them. And it's just awesome. It's awesome. There's no lines. It's air conditioned. I love it. I love it. That's the way to do it. And they don't even check to see if you've activated the card, people. Just get the card. If you're an anti-credit card, that's great. I totally understand that. Don't activate it. Just take it with you to the parks. Show them that, and all they do is look to see you have it. That's it. That's it.
Boom. Makes you want to get a Chase account, doesn't it?
Yeah. We've met at Epcot. We've met Mickey, Donald, Minnie, Pluto, Goofy. Those are the 5 that we've met. And then, like I said, Hollywood Studios.
I thought we met Daisy too. Didn't we go and it was like
we did.
Donald and Daisy?
I think we did meet Daisy there. Yeah, we did meet Daisy there. That's true. I forgot about that one.
Daisy, she's so sassy.
Yeah, Daisy's my favorite female duck character.
She's the only duck character, so female.
No, Webby. Webby's a female duck character.
Yeah, from DuckTales. Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
come on.
She doesn't have a meet and greet though, so.
That's true, unfortunately. But at Epcot, where it is it's near the it's in the Imagination Pavilion. So you got Figment, but then you have like the Pixar shorts movies that you can watch, and then there's those fountains that have like the water that jumps from fountain to fountain. It's right there. That's where it is at Epcot. In Hollywood Studios, it's in Launch Bay, and there's no real sign, so you just have to ask a cast member where it's at. But like I said, totally worth it. It's great. It's great. Cool. And you're not cutting the real lines because there's no other line. It's that one.
Right. It's like its own little area. And it's in the EC. and it's in the AC. So if you want to take a few minutes to cool off, that's kind of a fun way to do it. So I want to kind of stay on the subject like we were talking earlier, fast passes, meet and greets a little bit. Character meet and greets do tend to accumulate long waits. So if you do have little ones that want to meet characters, I would suggest getting a fast pass for it. I mean, especially if you're at Magic Kingdom and you're wanting to meet a lot of the princesses, the lines
Mickey.
Get very long. Yeah, Mickey, Tinkerbell, very long, like an hour or more. Like I think I've walked by and it was like 180 minutes before. Insane. So if you have little ones and they're for sure going to want to meet the princesses and you're not doing any of like the character dining or something like that, I would highly suggest getting a fast pass for that. And then also with fast passes, if you are worried that maybe you didn't get all the fast passes that you wanted, or there's other rides that you want to ride but you're worried about the waits, ride during the fireworks and or parades. That's my favorite time to ride. Chances are a good majority of the park is, especially during Happily Ever After at Magic Kingdom, is going to be in front of the castle. So, get on Big Thunder, which is the best time to ride it. Haunted Mansion, whatever rides that you didn't get a fast pass for, that the waits were long during the day and you're okay with missing out on the fireworks, which, I mean, I wouldn't suggest missing out on the fireworks, but maybe if you've already seen it, that would be a great time to do that, because I know it does, there's a lot to get done in a short vacation or a short day, however long you're going. So to kind of ease and relax the mind, there is always that time to, get on rides that you really wanted to get on. And that could go for any parks, like during Illuminations at Epcot or, Fantasmic at Hollywood. You can always find shorter wait times during those bigger shows.
Yep. I agree. I'm usually the one watching those shows, though. But I do agree that, especially Hollywood Studios, and this was before Toy Story Land, though, but you could ride Midway Mania like over and over and over and over and over and over again,
right.
Which Cheddar Biscuits and I have done during Fantasmic was going on, while the Star Wars fireworks was going on. Actually, no, it was Jingle Bell, Jingle Bam was going on. Mm-hmm. We rode it like 5 times in a row, like on, off, immediately, like no wait. It was awesome.
Right.
It was awesome.
I mean, like I said, I wouldn't suggest missing these big, amazing shows, but if you've already seen it and you're in that point or at that point on your trip or your day where you want to make sure that you're getting to ride everything that you want to ride, that is kind of a great time to do it. So
awesome. We're giving out some like prime information here. I'm just saying. Everyone loves to get the Magic Kingdom early. I love the Magic Kingdom in the morning. That's probably my favorite time to be there. It's like right as the park opens. I don't know, there's something special about Magic Kingdom first thing in the morning. So to avoid the large crowds, to have a great day at the Magic Kingdom early in the morning, you want to avoid Fantasyland and New Fantasyland. And here's why. Because once the rope drops, Mickey does his little stage show, which is horrible. Once he does that little welcome show on the stage, everyone is rushing to Fantasyland to get on Seven Dwarfs, Peter Pan, Little Mermaid. People are just bombarding that area. No one ever goes to Frontierland first or Adventureland first. No one thinks, hey, I want to go ride the Jungle Cruise first or things like that. It's the least crowded in the mornings. Frontierland, Adventureland, least crowded. That's my tip. Go there first. Go left, and then work your way around. I would say that the wait for Big Thunder would be 20 minutes or less until, like, if the park opens at 9, then it'd be 20 minutes or less until at least 11 o'clock.
that's insane. I don't know.
You should try that, Kaylee. Go try that this week.
I should test this theory because I don't know the last time that I went to Magic Kingdom for a rope drop. Like, it's seriously so annoying. I love Magic Kingdom, but it is so annoying parking and then having to ride the tram to Ticket and Transportation Center and then having to get on the monorail. Like that, like I could be at the park at rope drop all the time if I wanted to, if I didn't have to worry about that. Like it just adds so much time and it's so frustrating. So for me, I like to do Magic Kingdom like late afternoon to nighttime because I don't have to, I don't know, I'm not feeling like I'm like rushing to get to the park when there is no crowds because I already am prepared that there's going to be crowds. So I don't know. And I'm not on a trip either to where I feel like I have to make the most out of my days. So.
And Kaylee would kind of mention something, and it would kind of segue into my next one, is it's difficult to get to the Magic Kingdom sometimes. If you're not taking Disney transportation from your resort, maybe you're driving. Sometimes it's a little difficult, and it can be frustrating, whether it's getting to the park or leaving the park.
Basically, unless you're staying at the Poly or the Contemporary, it's going to be almost miserable for you to get to and from the Magic Kingdom.
Especially if you're leaving when everyone else is leaving at night, like after Happily Ever After or something like that. So my big tip, and I'm afraid to give this out because I don't want other people to, I want people to use it to help their vacations, but like at the same time, I'm kind of like selfish about it.
Share with credit, people. Share with credit. You heard it here, Walt's World Podcast.
Yes. The genius that I am, this is what Krista and I always do. Always. If we're leaving the parks and everyone else is leaving the parks, we just assume the wait for our bus to go to the resort is going to be
an hour.
A long time. That's just what we do. We assume that. So we don't even worry about walking all the way to our bus stop, which is usually on the furthest possible place to go to, far away, almost walking all the way to the Contemporary. So what we do instead, and it's harder if you have kids, I understand this, but it's just the two of us. So what we do is we walk over to the Contemporary, which is an easy walk. There's a special path that gets you there from the Magic Kingdom. We walk to the Contemporary, and as we're walking to the Contemporary, we call an Uber. And that Uber will meet us at the front of the Contemporary and then pick us up and take us to the resort. And so you're having to pay $15, $20, depending on the time of day that it's at, and if it's prime time or not. So the other thing, though, is like you get to sit down. You're guaranteed a seat in the air conditioning. You don't have to stand in a big bus with stinky Pete's all around you. That's my big tip for leaving the park.
It always ties back to the stinky Pete's in John's mind.
I think so. But even in the mornings, like if we have an early reservation at Be Our Guest or something, and we know that waiting on the bus, because Magic Kingdom buses are packed and the lines are huge first thing in the morning, and we have an early reservation, we're just going to get an Uber and take it to the Contemporary and walk over to the Magic Kingdom. We do that for other parks too. We'll Uber to the Animal Kingdom, or we'll Uber to Hollywood Studios, or wherever, just depending on our reservations. That's a big tip. And I understand if you got kids, it's harder to do, but if it's just you or you and some friends, that's the best way to do it.
I think that sounds like a great idea. The couple times that Cheddar Biscuits and I have stayed on property, the buses are a literal nightmare, especially at night when you're tired and you're just wanting to get, back to the hotel and get to bed. So that sounds like a great idea. I mean, I think the money would be worth it. You could get home or get back to the resort in 30 minutes or less, as opposed to waiting probably an hour or more for your bus. So
the money is worth having the extra time to sleep.
Or stay on stay at a resort that's on the monorail loop.
That's true. We're just spending more money that way, people.
We're just spend all the money and stay at a resort that's on the monorail loop.
One day we will stay at the Poly.
Or the Grand Floridian.
Yeah, either one.
Yeah.
I'm cool with that. All right, what's your next one, Kaylee?
My next one, and this is a big one. If you don't have an annual pass and you're coming down for a trip and you want to make sure that you're really capturing, see what I'm about to do here? Capturing those memories, purchase the Memory Maker. So this is an additional $169, and what it is any photo pass pictures that you take. So these are ride photos, character meet and greets, magic shots, any pictures that a photo pass cast member takes of you will go to the Memory Maker, which will be attached to your My Disney Experience app. So you can download the photos directly from My Disney Experience to your cell phone and share them, print them out at home, whatever you want to do. But I just think this is a great idea, especially for the meet and greets. You're not like rummaging to get your camera out and having to ask somebody else to take pictures of you, because chances are there's already a PhotoPass cast member there. So kind of utilize that a little bit. And they are, high quality photos. Some of them do come out like a little sketchy sometimes, like not the best. But
That's true.
At least chances are at least one of them is good, or you may want one of your ride photos from the trip. Whatever it may be, I think the $169 is totally worth it. I have the annual pass that includes the PhotoPass downloads, and but I can't imagine not having that, because all the ride photos and all the goodies that I want to keep are there. So it's totally worth it to me to just be able to download them straight to my phone and share them in whatever way I would like to share them. What do you think? Have you ever gotten the Memory Maker when you're on vacation?
Yeah, we did. Before we were annual pass holders, we did. And it was awesome. I mean, that's the best way to ensure that you have professional, and I'm using quote fingers, professional photos of all of your memories. Our phones are great, but you don't always have someone to take the photo for you. So like someone's going to have to be out of the shot and taking the photo. So having that extra money, $169 is totally worth having that priceless picture of your little kid's first time at Magic Kingdom with Mickey Mouse or in front of the castle. It's just sometimes these photos are the greatest photos in the world. And I don't think you can put a price on those memories of having an image to remind you of those memories.
Right, especially the magic shots. Like Disney adds such cute little things. So be like, oh, point to the sky and you see like Tinkerbell flying, or hold your hand out and they'll put a cute character in your hand. Like Disney just does such a good job of really like enhancing your memories. Like, yes, you're standing in front of the castle, but oh, here's Tinkerbell like flying around. So I just think the Memory Maker is amazing. There's PhotoPass photographers everywhere. The ride photos go on there. It's great.
I look back at so many of our photos when I was a kid at Disney World, and back then they didn't have PhotoPass people. So my dad wouldn't be in like 90% of the photos. My dad wasn't in because he was taking the photo. And those are memories I wish I had now. But now Disney does this. You can totally utilize that. It's worth the money, I tell you right now. It's worth it. And it's cheaper if you buy it before you go, as opposed to trying to pick out every photo you like and don't like when you get to, the end of your trip, things like that.
Right. You get every single photo that was taken of you, as opposed to having to pick and choose which ones you want to purchase, which is amazing. And like I said, I just think it really saves time, especially with the meet and greets. You're not having to rummage, get your camera out, having to find somebody to take a picture of you and your whole group. Somebody's going to have to be out of the photo. I think it's a great idea. Just let the photo pass photographers do their job. And you'll get all the memories you want without having to worry about somebody taking a picture for you or somebody being out of the photo.
Agreed.
All right. What's next?
Avoid Mondays at the Magic Kingdom. Why avoid Mondays? Because people, when they come on vacation, they usually will travel on the weekend. Usually Sundays are the travel days for people most of the time. They arrive on Sunday. Maybe they start traveling on Saturday and they arrive Sunday or whatever. But their first day at the park is going to be Monday. Now, if you're traveling from far away, Kaylee, 12 hours away, you get there on Sunday and you're planning on going to the park on Monday, which of the 4 parks would you want to go to first?
Oh, Magic Kingdom, of course.
Magic Kingdom, of course. Thank you for playing along. Magic Kingdom. Everybody wants to go to the Magic Kingdom first. That's their first park they want to go to because that is Disney World. So when people arrive on Sunday, they want to go to the park on Monday, Magic Kingdom. So Mondays at the Magic Kingdom are the most crowded that you'll find all week.
That is seriously a great tip. I don't go to the Magic Kingdom on Mondays. Usually I'm at the parks Tuesdays or Wednesdays. So you will not catch me at the Magic Kingdom. And even during the summertime, Magic Kingdom is crazy. Yeah, catch me outside. How about that? Catch me at Hollywood Studios. How about that?
What is happening?
What did this just turn into?
Oh my gosh.
No,
our
but
monorail's windows are falling out.
I know, right? That seriously just makes so much sense, though. Avoid the Magic Kingdom or use, the Kenny the Pirate calendars that kind of show you the crowd volumes on the days. It's just great to kind of know what you're getting into. Needless to say, no matter what day of the week it is, during, the prime time, vacation times, it's going to be crowded. So just keep that in mind, and you will not be as flustered when there's a billion Stinky Pete's around you at all times during your day. You're prepared.
So glad that's becoming a thing. Stinky Pete's.
It's totally becoming a thing, and I don't know if I like it or not. All right, so my next one, and we've kind of talked about this a little bit in previous episodes as far as places that John and I prefer to sit at when we are watching parades or fireworks. So my suggestion is get to your spot early. Everybody has their favorite spot where they want to go. Get to the spot early, especially at Magic Kingdom for Happily Ever After. Literally an hour early. Like, this isn't, an over exaggeration. Get there an hour early. Have somebody in your group wait, while people go off and trade off doing things for that hour, maybe getting snacks, riding a ride, whatever you want to do during that hour. But just make sure someone in your party is there to hold the spot.
It's necessary. It's necessary for Happily Ever After. So many times we have walked up 20 minutes before it starts and have to be those people who wait for the cast members to tell people to scoot forward, and then us kind of creepily get in behind someone or get into those gaps that are now open. If you get there an hour early, which you have to do, if you get there an hour early, you're gonna guarantee yourself a great spot. I always, my opinion has changed a little bit, but I always like getting near a trash can. And the reason I like getting near a trash can is because
you're
if
trash.
You're in front of, ha 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 ha, no. If you get near a trash can, if you're sitting beside it, or if you're sitting in front of it, or you're sitting behind it, that's space that no one's going to stand there beside you. If you're standing in front of it,
nobody wants to stand by a trash can. That's why.
It's perfect. If you're sitting in front of it, you have back support. If you're sitting beside of it, you have something to lean against. The trash cans at Disney are clean, people. It's Disney World.
Is that a joke? Disney World probably has the most germs in the whole world. That's a joke, John. Come on. That's literally a lie. Grade 80
people.
lie.
Kaylee, when we're at Epcot, Food and Wine or Flower and Garden Festival, and we go to one of those booths and get some food, inevitably, where do we eat that food off of?
Don't call me out.
What is it that we set that food on top of to eat it?
Do not call me out. Oh, wait,
trash cans.
No, we have not done trash can. We
trash
do the
cans.
tables by it. I've
trash
never.
Cans.
No, I have never sat my food on a trash can. That is a
trash
joke.
Cans.
I would rather hold it in my hand and
I've
eat
eaten
it
off a trash can before. Everyone does it.
It's not a thing. It's not a thing. Wash your hands, people. Sanitize your life. Don't eat on a trash can.
Whatever. Save a table, eat on a trash can. This one is going to just make Kaylee's night, I think. And I think this may be my next to last one for the evening. Ride the People Mover. Yes. Ride the People Mover, my friends. What better way to get away from the large crowds in Magic Kingdom and the heat in the Magic Kingdom than to ride the most amazing ride at the Magic Kingdom?
Speaking of
the People
grossness
Mover.
And germs at Walt Disney World, the People Mover is probably the most disgusting attraction.
Nah. Kick your feet up, eat some popcorn, drink a LaFou's brew as you're traveling around.
What kills me is the people who take naps on it.
Oh, yeah.
Stop.
Oh, yeah.
Do not ever
not?
do that, please.
That's not the worst thing that has happened on that ride. I'll just say that.
It's just gross, and it's honestly not even that cool. Like I'm talking cool. I'm talking cool
It
like
is.
AC. I'm talking
Yes, it
cool
is.
like AC.
In
No,
Space
it's not.
Mountain? Yes,
Half
it
of
is.
in Space Mountain, the one time you're inside, it's literally like I will give it half inside, half outside. You're not gonna cool down.
It's a breeze.
Really?
You get a breeze. You do.
You're literally
if you're
going
traveling.
less than 5 miles per hour, and you're getting
That's
a
not
breeze
true.
on this. It doesn't slow down when you're getting on it. So if you can get on it while it's still moving, chances are it's not going fast enough.
It
to where you
slows
get a
down
breeze.
for you to get on it. Yes, it does. When you pull back into the station, it slows down.
Stop it. Please stop.
Oh my gosh. People, just destroy her on Instagram right now. Just destroy her with her People Mover hate.
I can't. I mean, I don't know. I guess if you want to sit down for 10 minutes and rest your feet, sure. But
We do,
I
Kaylee.
just like, there's like fumes. I don't know. I have like
There's
thing with the
fumes in
smells on the
Tomorrowland everywhere.
people in the People Mover. Like, I don't know. Because
because of the little race cars, there's fumes everywhere. There's like a hole in the ozone layer above Tomorrowland because of those cars.
I'm just like, I'm just not feeling the People Mover. I've been on it,
gosh.
and I've been on it, and that's fine. But
People,
I
am
don't
I
need to
wrong?
do it.
Am I wrong for my love for the People Mover? No. I've had so many people tell me how wrong Kaylee is because of her hate for the People Mover. No one hates the People Mover.
What? How can you say that someone's opinion is wrong?
Because it is. When it comes to the People Mover, it is wrong.
Come on, who
sir.
raised you? People have their own opinions.
But they're wrong a lot of the times. If it's about the People Mover not being good, it's wrong.
I know people can't stand my hate for Haunted Mansion or the People Mover, but
Nope. No, they cannot.
I still sleep well at night, people. So
Sleep better if you're the People Mover, like those other people who ride it and take a nap.
and then people put their feet up on the seat, and then you're
I do
like
that.
about gonna ride it.
I put my feet on the seat because I'm tall enough to do that. It's very comfortable.
Yeah, I'm not tall enough to do that, so
I find it
can't.
comfortable. Well, I'm so sorry, Kaylee, that you hate everything nice and good in the world.
No, I don't. I just
It's Walt Disney's idea. I'm sorry you hate Walt Disney now. You heard it here first, folks. Kaylee hates Walt Disney.
you
a
heard
fraud.
it here first, folks. John is delusional.
She's a fraud. She's a fraud.
I'm catfishing the internet with my love for Disney. This is all a hoax.
What's your next one? I'm sure it's stupid.
No, it's not.
What is it? Tom Sawyer Island?
No. This
What is it?
seriously. This is about eating quick service lunch and table service, whatever. I mean, it doesn't have to be just quick service lunch, but this is just eating quick service, table service. These are my little tips. Quick service, use the mobile ordering option on the My Disney Experience. I feel like I should be a sponsor for the My Disney Experience app because
what is up with that?
I like this needs to happen because I promote the heck out of this app. Like, seriously, #1 supporter of the My Disney Experience app. But no, utilize the mobile ordering. They have it at a good amount of quick service restaurants, if not all of them, in most of the parks, and at Disney Springs. Sometimes they bring it right to your table after you check in. Other times you have to wait. I know at Deluxe Burger, you go and you're like, hey, I'm here to pick up my order. And they give you a little like tracker thing that you put on your table and they bring it right out to your table. But sometimes you do have to stand in a little line, a mobile ordering line, and wait for your food. But it's ready when you get there, so that's what's most important. You can have somebody like scout around for a table, and then you go grab the mobile order, and I feel like it saves so much time and kind of, you're not having to walk around with a huge tray of food searching for a table because your buddy's already waiting at the table. Which, I mean, I guess could still work if your friend was ordering for you, but we're not thinking about that. We're thinking of the mobile ordering.
And people don't realize this, but if you have the dining plan, you can use the mobile ordering now with your dining plan, and it will automatically deduct the credits from your dining plan. We did that.
Made it even better.
I know. We did that on our trip in May, and Dole Whips did it, didn't wait in line. Columbia Harbor House did it, didn't wait in line. Casey's did it, didn't wait in line. Like, it's so simple. If you're going to Casey's, if you're in Adventureland, order it, make your way over there, and just click the button that you're there. You pick it up. You're done. You don't have to wait in that huge line.
It's so quick, too. They have it ready so fast. I mean, because it's basically would be the same thing as if you ordered it and then waited in line to get your food. Like, it's so quick. They have it ready.
Super fast.
I love.
It is a little tricky. I will say this. If you're on the dining plan, it is a little tricky to make sure that, like, if you're going to use a snack credit to get like a slushie or to get one of the desserts or something like that, it is a little tricky to make sure that it does it correctly. But you can always just ask a cast member and they can make sure that it does it correctly, or they can add something back on there or whatever. So don't be afraid that it's going to take something off or anything like that. But I've done it. It's so simple. So simple, people. Do it. Use mobile ordering.
Do it.
Actually, don't, because if more people do it, that means the line will be longer. And then I'll have to wait.
The wait will be longer.
Yes.
Maybe. But,
Yes,
I mean, at least
true.
you can, hold down your table while you're waiting.
That's true. I'm always the food getter. Chris is the table getter. She's an animal. She's an animal with the tables, I'll tell you. She's an animal. She's feisty.
She's an animal.
She's an animal.
That's great, John.
I know, right? That's a good one.
Continuing on with eating, and we kind of talked about this earlier with table service.
You're making me hungry.
Get the reservations. If you want table service, get the reservations. 180 days in advance if you're staying on property at one of the resorts. Book the reservations, especially if it's at Be Our Guest or other places that tend to fill up. I think that's like the big one right now that fills up
Be
really
Our Guest,
easily.
Cinderella's
Royal Table.
Those
exactly.
are the top two at Magic Kingdom for sure.
Yeah, you want to make sure you get the reservations. You can get reservations the day of, but the options are going to be slimmer than if you had everything available.
If you want Cinderella's Royal Table, you will not get it day of. You're not going to get Cinderella's Royal Table day of.
No, but a lot of or Be Our Guest. I mean, I've gotten Be Our Guest breakfast like the day before going, and that was fine. That happens a lot actually with the breakfast. But as far as like lunch and dinner, Be Our Guest and Cinderella's Royal Table, like you have to book those 180 days in advance. Everything else is a little bit easier, but I still highly suggest planning those ahead to ensure that you get them. I wouldn't really take the risk if you wanted to really eat somewhere.
No, don't take the risk, people. It's hard to think 180 days in advance of where I want to eat, where I don't want to eat. But it's the best thing to do is just go ahead and get that reservation, because you're not going to be able to get it if you don't get it 180 days in advance. Cinderella's Royal Table is not that great. I'm going to go ahead and tell you right now, the food is not that great. We've eaten there. It's nothing to write home about.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, spoiler alert. The only thing that made it awesome were the princesses, and we watched it while the fireworks were going on. We were there while the fireworks were going on outside. So that made it pretty cool because they pump in the music and everything. But the food was not great. It's just the experience. And
Well, that's kind of a lot of Disney dining nowadays. I haven't been blown away with the meal I've had at Disney in a really long time. So it's more for the
that's
experience
true.
in general.
I do agree with that.
Like, I don't know. I don't like the way they're going with Disney dining. It just seems like they're wanting to like pick up the pace as far as, you know, the amount of time that the guests are at the table. And I don't, they're sacrificing in the quality of food. But this is like a whole other episode where I could talk about my disappointments with Disney dining.
Our trip in May, we ate at Garden Grill for dinner, and you guys didn't like it. We do, because we like Garden Grill, but you guys didn't like it.
I liked it. I just did a blog post on it. I liked it. I would have liked it more if it was a different food selection. That's all I said in the blog. Was the food good for what it was? Yes, I totally agree. It was super fresh. You know, it was good, but I would have liked it way better if it wasn't like Thanksgiving food, because that's what it was to me. John Cheddar Biscuits loves Thanksgiving food, so he really enjoyed the meal. But me, I was kind of like, about it. I would love to go again. I love the Garden Grill breakfast. But I mean, I wasn't blown away. I wasn't like super excited. I was more excited because of the character interaction than I was over the food. It's
been a long time for me since I can say that I had a meal that I was just like, oh my gosh, that was so good at Disney. In May, I probably had one. I mean, we ate at Ohana, we ate at Be Our Guest dinner, we ate at Garden Grill, we ate. And
see, the Be Our Guest that we did
50s prime time
for Krista's birthday surprised me, because me and Cheddar Biscuits went to Be Our Guest before and didn't like it for dinner, and then we went with you guys for Krista's birthday, and it surprised us. So
maybe it was the company. Maybe it was just the people you were with.
It might have been. I don't know.
I will say I've probably had two amazing meals in the last like three or four trips to Disney.
And where
honestly.
were they?
One was Ohana breakfast is always great. I always love Ohana breakfast. I think it's the best breakfast at Disney.
I don't think I've tried enough of the breakfasts to say that, but I do really like Ohana, and I really like Garden Grill too.
Boma is a close second on breakfast at Disney. I will say that. But the best dinner by far that I've had at Disney in a long time is at La Hacienda de San Angel, which is the Mexican restaurant in Epcot. It's not the one inside the pyramid. It's not the one inside. It's the one on the other side, right on the water. It's the table service restaurant. It's always great. Always. I've gotten tacos there. I've gotten steak there, soups. It's always phenomenal.
You could say the same about the quick service too. That's right there by it. It's always great too.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like we got into like a whole
That's
topic.
okay.
We're like trying to talk about stress-free Disney, and we're probably stressing everybody out because we're saying that the restaurants aren't amazing. But
They're good.
Just know that you're going for the experience, and that's what it is at the end of the day. To me, I live here, so would I rather eat before going in and not spend $30 or more on one entree for me? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
I would rather have a table service breakfast than I would a dinner or lunch. I will say
I agree. I think table service breakfast is my favorite. Like, if I'm going for table service, I want to go for breakfast. I just recently tried Be Our Guest for breakfast and really liked it. So, I mean, it just seems to me that all of the table service breakfast character dinings are all pretty much the same. Like Mickey waffles, bacon, eggs, there's different little things here and there depending on where you're at, but you're like, it's all the same. I don't know.
For sure. My last little tip and trick has to do with food. And it's when you're at one of those character breakfasts or lunches or dinners, the tendency for those waiters and waitresses is to get people in, get them out. But don't let them rush you. I felt rushed almost every time I've eaten somewhere for a character meet and greet. I've always felt rushed, except at Ohana. That's the only place I've never felt rushed. And Garden Grill. There's the only two places.
Yeah.
Don't let them rush you, though. You're paying for them. You're paying for the food. You're paying for the experience. Take your time. Eat the food you want to eat. Enjoy the experience. Don't rush through it. You're paying a lot of money to meet these characters and eat that food.
Speaking of that supercalifragilistic breakfast I had at the Grand Floridian, it was in that period of time where they were about to close because they close in the middle of the day until they reopen for dinner. And it was very rushed. Like, I did not have a good experience there at all. It was very rushed. One of the cast members was coming around being like, did you meet Tigger? Did you meet Mad Hatter and Alice? And it's just like, that was kind of annoying.
That to make sure you met them.
But it was frustrating. Like, I'm trying to eat and like they're supposed to come around in like a circle and it's supposed to be fine. Like, any other time they're not going to do that through the service. Like, I
have a good friend who I work with who loves Disney, my friend Jennifer, and she was telling us about how she saw a family just get just so angry because they'd gotten up to go to the buffet and they had missed seeing Mickey Mouse. He had come around and they were gone, and so he went on. Well, they just like unloaded on the cast member because they didn't get to see Mickey Mouse. Well, the cast member had stopped there to ask them had they seen everyone to make sure that they had. The Blueberry cast members are going to make sure that you've seen, all the characters. So don't stress out about it. Then they ask you those things to make sure that you have. They're trying to do their job.
And you could tell that, which is fine because we did get to meet everybody, but it was just all like really rushed, and you could tell they were like starting to like close down. Yeah. Not they were starting to, like everything was closing down. Like, it was just, if you're going to do something like that, especially at the Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious where it closes, go early before they do that. That would just be my suggestion with that. It's not bad that they come around, but it was just frustrating at the time because it was all so rushed to begin with, and like I'm trying to rush and like scarf down my food, and then somebody's like coming, and it was just
yeah, it's hard. It's tough when you feel rushed and you feel like you have to hurry, but just take a deep breath and just enjoy it. Next week we're gonna talk Disney dining. That's what we're gonna do. Next week's episode we're gonna talk Disney dining. We'll talk about the Disney dining plan. We'll talk about places we like to eat. Tips and tricks to get reservations for those places, or things to order, those kinds of things. That'll be next week's episode. So look forward to that.
So we can rant on to about this for days.
Days and days and days. That's right.
Days and days and days.
That's right.
All right.
So that's the show. If you've enjoyed our show, we would love for you to subscribe and share it with all of your friends and family. And of course, please go and leave us a review on iTunes. We would love to hear from you guys and see what you like about the show and episodes and things like that. If you got any questions for us or show topic ideas that you'd like for us to cover, email us, waltzworldpodcast@gmail.com, or hit us up on Twitter or Instagram @waltzworldpodcast. We would just want to hear from you guys and talk to you. So with that, I'm John.
And I'm Kaylee. We'll see you next week.